Good evening, and welcome to another flippant version of Diatribes from the voice of Doom. Now here's your flummoxed and flabbergasted host, voice of Doom. Hello. Alright, I figured I'd do another diatribe since everything's coming to an end soon, so it's not much time. Might get 2 or 3 more in before everything goes down. So, I wanted to talk a little about what's going on, and a few things I forget because I talk about subjects and then I forget what I wanted to say about certain things, but I'm glad that haircut in California, speaking of Feinstein passing away, haircut had to name a senator to fill in the blanks for Feinstein. And that's his right, and we figured he would name someone that would not be a right-wing conservative. And he didn't, but he was good enough to follow in the clumsy footsteps of Petri Dish and be ham-handed enough to forecast ahead of time that if need be, if I have to fill a space in, it will be a woman of color. It's always good to say ahead of time so that when you do it, you can make the person feel real good. It's real humiliating, really, when you think about it. It's like, do you want to be a senator? I'm going to humiliate the crap out of you by mentioning ahead of time that you're just filling in some spaces and checking some boxes. Makes you feel real good. I'm not going to get the best person. It's going to be a person of color that's a female, biological, I hope. But I have to say I'm thankful. I don't know her name, Alancha, Kashia, whatever. I don't care. I know what she's going to be like, and it doesn't matter. I'm just so happy because I thought that for a minute he was going to name Lizard as the interim senator, which I think I'd probably have to go on a rampage at that point because I hate Lizard. I think he's the worst thing on this planet right now walking. And I think we know what his name is. Adam something. Shift or shifty or shiftless. Can't stand him. He's a liar and he's gotten away with it with impunity. And it's really maddening to see his face and see him actually running for Senate in 2026 or whatever. Yeah, good luck with that. 2026. That's funny. But I'm just happy that Haircut didn't name him as the interim senator, because I think I would have lost it. I think it would have been like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do what I have to do, but I can't put up with this. Because he's the lowest of the low, bottom-feeding monster, Satan's acolyte, and when he dies, he will take his place at Satan's. I'm not going to go on. My mind is vivid with imagery that's not good. But I don't like him. So let him try to be senator in 2026. He can do his campaign from the rubble, and he wouldn't have the brain capacity to know that he was a major player in destroying the planet. Although he may know deep in his heart because he's a demon. I won't get into existential stuff like that. It's too deep because there's other things happening. Now, apparently Israel's been attacked rather badly by Hamas. And Israel has declared war on Hamas. Well, they declared war. They didn't say who they were at war with. But I would imagine it's against Hamas. Now, Hamas is not part of a particular geopolitical area. So you just gotta fight them where you fight them. But I've noticed a few things that I should bring to your attention that I find interesting. Now, I remember a day and age when if a place like Hamas, or what we used to call the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, led by 10-head Arafat, who killed a bunch of wrestlers and athletes in the Olympics in 1972. If you go back in time, you'd realize how interesting things were. But let's talk about Israel and their conflagration with whatever represents the oppressed people of that area. They just want to keep on bombing, keep on sending rockets over. Well, they sent a lot of rockets over, and they've sent some serious forces over to kidnap people, kidnap Israelis, take them hostage to use as human shields. And I think there's atrocities going on, and the casualties are in the thousands, and the killings are in the hundreds, and will be going up and up and up. And Netanyahu, who I like, I don't know everything about his career, but I prefer him over a lot of other people I've seen running that country, declared war. He didn't say who he was at war with, but they're at war, and when Israel goes to war, they don't fool around. They're going to try to nip this in the bud. But the one thing I notice in the media is the lack of interest in the media. Like, this is not a big deal. Israel will take revenge, and it will last a couple of days, and we'll go back to the normal simmering, boiling pot of the Middle East, which hasn't shown its ugly face in many, many months because we have other things to worry about. The frontiers of the Ukraine are very much a concern to us, so we haven't been paying much attention to Palestine or Israel or Lebanon or Syria. But apparently it's blowing up. Now, this is part and parcel of what I've been talking about. And it could be the powder keg, amongst other powder kegs. So everybody I talk to in western North Nevada are all of one mind. We're doomed. I am no longer the anomaly. I used to be by myself talking about how the world was coming to an end, and now I got all these people jumping on my bandwagon. It's a little irritating, because now I got to move on to something else, because now you guys are all on board with this doom business, and now what am I going to do? Voice of doom. Now that I've been proven correct, or will be proven correct, maybe I got to move on to voice of hope, because we'll have to hope that we survive. And after the conflagration, we're going to have to rebuild, and it won't have anything to do with AI or solar panels or windmills. It'll have to do with surviving. We'll be fishing and eating whatever we have to eat, sitting around campfires, putting together hovels and putting together lean-tos, and trying to survive. And that'll happen for a few decades, and then we might get it together again. Because there will be people that have brains, and they will take the rubble and they will put it back together again into a usable form of technology that we can use. But I just wanted to talk about Israel because the mainstream, including Fox and all those others, just kind of act like it's just a footnote in history, and I think it's bigger than that. I think we really have to be concerned about what's going to happen in the next week or two. And I consider, as I'm talking to people and I realize they're all jumping on my shtick, saying how the world's over, the border's in chaos, people are coming in by thousands, they're sleeping on the streets, crime's rampant, fentanyl's rampant, people are dying everywhere. And the possibilities of more death and destruction is very possible with whatever they could release on us or tell them they released on us. It doesn't matter. Because when you have, this is the whole thing, I don't want to explain it. Information, disinformation, we don't know what's real anymore. Isn't it obvious? We don't know what's real, so they can say whatever they want to and give us whatever reality they feel like giving us. And we have to put up with it and keep paying our bills. Hope we keep our job. Hope our neighborhood doesn't get cordoned off or whatever. But as I see everybody jumping on my thing, I want to get more analytical about doom, because it's like now everybody agrees with me that we're doomed, but I don't see it happening right away. We keep on going, slouching one day after another, and nothing changes. Nothing happens to wake people up to how bad things really are. Forget about the elitists, forget about Petri Dish and all those people. They wish they were elitists, but they're probably going to be victims just like everyone else. There's a lot of people in the media, a lot of people in the government that think they're part of the elite that will survive the conflagration. And I think the real elitists who have well-appointed fallout shelters with underground pools and pool tables and fully stocked bars don't plan on taking them along. They want to take along people that are engineers and people that have brains. They're not going to take Petri Dish. They're not going to take AOC. They're not going to take any of these media touts. So they're in the same boat and they think they're special. So it's kind of funny. But I just think about the logistics of doom, of how, since everybody knows we're doomed, but how do you do it? How do you get rid of 6 billion people on the down low? Well, first you do it the way we're doing it now, is kill a few hundred here, a few hundred there, a few thousand here, a few thousand there, just to, start the ball rolling. But I really, realize that for the true conflagration to come will be devastating to people. They're not used to it. I have to go back to the very beginning of my diatribes and explain human nature and history in a nutshell. I got 3 minutes to do it. We've been spoiled. This country has spoiled ourselves for 75 years now. Since the end of World War II, we decided to use the military-industrial to keep the ball rolling economically so we don't go into these depressions again, and build a lot of planes and bombs, sell them to everybody else, and keep our economy going. What the karmic retribution, I don't know. Can't be good. But we've been spoiled because we've been borrowing money all this time to keep the ball rolling so that the boomers can buy a house for $30,000 and sell it for $500,000 or $750,000, so that the extras can buy a house for $150,000 and sell it for $850,000, which is good for them. But I mean, everything's been made for the boomers. Pensions, which can't be paid. People going on strike because they only make $40 an hour and they want 60. And the whole 9 yards. Come on. You make a lot of money, then you buy good things, and then if things go wrong, what happens? You're in trouble. You owe a lot of money for your mansion and your cars and your boat. So, the logistics of doom. We've been spoiled. We have karmic retribution coming for basing our economy on war. And now, when things go bad, people will not have the slightest idea how to handle it. And I'm one of them. I'm not one of these guys that know how to build a fire and I can build a fire, but do the things you need to do to survive. I'm too empathetic. I couldn't kill an animal personally and take their life. I'd eat a lot of herbs and leaves and whatever, but just survival away from going to the grocery store, mailing your letters, going to the gas station, driving, having a little trip down to the lake, go out to dinner, have your nice home that's all heated in the winter and air conditioned in the summer. Everything's comfortable, Garage door opens up for you, you park your car. Come on. When that all goes away, people are going to have a cow. They're not going to know what the hell to do. And I'm including all these upper middle class idiots that think that they skated through life without any repercussions and really raped the country, allowed it to happen. We don't care how you keep us in comfort, just keep us in comfort. Borrow $33 trillion, sell bombs to everyone so they can kill each other, so I can have my air conditioning. So I think I said a lot right there, but only a few people will realize it. And let's see what happens over the next couple days, but I want this to be posted by Sunday morning because we'll see what happens. Things could get a little interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So enjoy the evening. Thanks.